Jersey
We're
would
in
have made
Jersey.
it. So we don't have all that pressure to film.
Speaking of New Jersey, how did the two of you become such good friends with Teresa and Louie? I see the pictures, I see the dinners,
it was
and you
just
guys
meant
are
to
in New
be.
York. Really?
Honestly, it was just meant to be.
You know,
like, people would always tell me that I reminded them of Teresa, but like the land version. And they would tell her that, and then our shows came back, and we did a House to Housewife. And she was talking, and I was like, oh my God, it's like me talking like about love and about Louie and just about life, and she's such a great mother. We had so many similarities. It's kind of like we knew each other from before. We're like kind of like the same people in so many different aspects of our life. And she's strong, and she never gives up, and like she believes in love, and she's always has a smile. Like nobody's gonna take away like that happiness. Even though then she can have like an angry moment,
she's
or a
been on
passionate
camera
moment.
for 14, 15 years.
But
I
I'm
think
exactly
everybody
the
knows
same
what
way.
she's gone through.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, when you sit there and you have a meal with Teresa and Louie, they are fantastic people. I could pick up the phone and call Louie and say, I need anything, and he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really are great people. We've loved meeting them and hanging out with them, and they're very
Mm-hmm.
authentic and real.
Why
They
do you
really
think?
are.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like
They
Teresa,
really
I've
are.
met Teresa is very authentic.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Mm-hmm. And so is he.
He is.
So is he. On her daughters that we got to spend
Yeah,
some
I mean,
time
this is
now.
a woman raising 4 kids. I mean, people sometimes have to put themselves in the position of this woman. I mean, it's no secret that she was in prison for something she didn't even do, away from her family. They see you came home with a chip on your shoulder. Who wouldn't? So, I mean, and she's on TV for all these years.
Right.
But she's just fantastic, and our kids are great. I mean, she's
Yeah.
done a great job with those kids. They're doing great, so.
I would agree. Why do you think? Look, there's so much out there. Like Louie is a bad guy. Like you said, you guys know him.
You know, I always say there's a bad guy until he meets the right woman. And I think he met his match with Teresa, and I told her that. You know, some guys, sometimes guys are this way
We
that
fight
they
about this
are.
one sometimes because I say, he wasn't a bad guy.
No.
He was a rich, single, good-looking guy running around New York and New Jersey, so
Right.
he has a lot of bad reputation.
Breaking up
behind
with
him.
women.
Yeah,
and you know
I think
what? Women are bitches, and
then
they
wound
get
up,
angry.
Right, and then he wound up with Teresa. So if he was just dating nobody and living in Duluth, Minnesota, nobody would care.
Right.
But you date a super famous woman on TV, and a lot of women are going to hate you for that, and it's going to come out of the woodwork.
Right.
Yeah, and
So I share the same-
I agree with that. Both. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Of
especially
course.
I say, you could
Listen,
just
I've
be
gone out
with
with a lot
wrong
of bad boys
person.
in my life.
Yeah.
He's a bad boy in a different way.
Ooh.
And it takes the right woman.
Yeah.
It takes the right woman. So I really think that he met his match with Teresa. And
mean,
you know
even
what?
now,
Maybe
look at
he did it to other
Thanksgiving.
women, but
He
not to
surprised her
Teresa.
on Thanksgiving. I mean, because it's on Instagram.
Right,
No
went to
secret. He had,
Paris.
he's
Yeah.
surprised we got tickets Thanksgiving night. We're going to Paris. Like, hey, you got to give him
For
some
their
credit. I
anniversary.
mean,
He's very charming,
Yeah.
and I totally understand why she fell in love with him. And I totally understand why Teresa changed his life and he fell in love with Teresa. And they were
they're
meant
good,
to
they're
be
good
each
for each
other.
other. He's very
And
good
it's
for her.
all about that. Sometimes you don't get it, but people get it.
You just
And
think
they
it
get
gets a bad rap for no.
No, I mean, I'm not saying for no reason, because, where there's rocks, where there's heat, there's fire, whatever it's called. I was thinking
Yeah.
in Spanish. You know what I
Smoke
mean?
is fire, baby.
Yes,
Yes.
mismo. I was thinking in
But
Spanish.
I like knew what you meant.
So, but again, it just takes the right woman to come along and change your life, just like it takes the right guy sometimes to come along and change your life. And everybody's entitled to a second chance.
I agree. What about, do you guys have any relationship with like Melissa and Joe? And if you don't, like, do you feel you could? That now
Right. Well, I know Melissa and Joe actually before, I was telling Todd
Just
this,
yesterday,
before Teresa.
that, oh wow.
Because Melissa and Joe used to come a lot to Miami they used to always come in July for the Miami Swim Week. And she had some association with the swim line. And they always used to come, and we used to go to dinners and hang out with them, and they were a lot of fun, and I always loved them, and the little pieces that I saw of the show, I liked them, and I liked everybody. No, I saw them at BravoCon. They were just as nice and sweet as always. I felt a little awkward because I knew the tension that was going on, because I was at Teresa's wedding and I was aware of that. But again, I just feel bad for both of them because they're brothers and sisters, and I know that
That's all
they
got.
love each
There's no
other.
family.
This is all they got, and it hurts so much when this happens in a family, and especially that they were so close. They're just being very stubborn, both of them, and sometimes that happens. I mean, I'm not sure how they're gonna move forward, especially because they're on a show together. But I know that they both have to be hurting.
Yeah. Was it awkward when you saw Melissa and Joe, or like do you feel that?
Well, I'm sure they
loyalty?
know, like, we're friends with them.
Yeah.
But-
I'm going to tell you because it's funny
Yeah.
that she was doing some press or something at the BravoCon. So Steve, Marisol's husband, and I were at the bar, and Joe Gorga was there, literally 10 feet away, 5 feet away. And I was like, oh, God, I can't introduce myself to this guy. He knows I'm friends with his sister. And I was like, can't even say hi to him. He's like, looking at me. I was like, what do I do? And I was like, I never even met him before, but she's known him. And, that's a long time ago, but still.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. Like,
No, like I said, I could like you separately. I may not like what is happening between you two, and I'm not gonna play peacemaker because I'm not, I don't like to interfere with family situations like that. But I would hear both of them out, and at the end, I would give them the advice that I would give anybody that I love and care for, which is like, life is too short. Your parents are no longer here. Your parents are in heaven, and they're hurting to see both of you not being, together, brothers and sisters, and doing this to each other. It's just like, I know that. I know my parents, that's all they wanted all their lives was for like me and my brothers and sisters to get along. And they would always tell us, you're going to lose us, and who you have is your brother and sister.
That's good advice.
hopefully they heal in time. It's pretty fresh and raw. It's still only a few months old since this took place. So hopefully.
I hope so.
It
So
gets past it.
you never said hi to Joe Gorga at the bar?
No, I didn't. He's a real estate guy too. And coincidentally, I saw a video of him trying to collect rent. And it was kind of comical watching him. And I said, he's a funny guy, and I know he has a comedy show. He's probably a great guy to get to know. But I felt awkward that if I walk up to this guy, he's going to say something that I know who you are, you're friends with my son. I was like, just avoid the situation. Because I know he could have a temper like me. So I said, forget it. I'll mind my own business.
Just order another drink.
Yeah, just stay
Right.
at the bar with Steve.
Well, before we talk more about the new season, talk to us about your great book that you wrote.
All right,
And
well,
first
thank
of all, how did this come about, and how does one sit down and write a book? I mean, right?
Well, that's
And he
a
actually
whole long
wrote it.
story. The truth is that I've been very lucky to be in this career. I tell people all the time. I found something I love. And over time, what I started to do was giving back, because you could do more and more deals, but it's just not as rewarding as helping somebody, especially young people, get involved. So we started bringing interns into my company. And from there, I said, this is great, but I have 4, 5, 6, 7 young people. And they all tell their friends. And towards the end of the internship, people say, I want to bring friends in to do this, but it's over. You guys go back to school. So then I said, you know what, I'll start doing a lot of podcasts, because I'm always invited to do real estate ones. And I do it, and I'd always tell people my phone number at the office or an email, and I would help people. And I said, how could you reach more people? And how could I teach people what I learned in 25, 30 years of real estate? So I said, I'm going to write a book. I said, how hard could it be to write a book? So I sat down and said, I'm going to write a book, but I read a lot. And I said, the biggest problem I have with real estate guys is that they write a book and they say, you should read my book. And at the end, if you really want to know how to make money, you got to buy my boot camp or all these different courses or come coaching. And I don't do any of that. And I said, I want people to know the truth. So I put on this book, 100% of the proceeds go to charity. So I wrote the book, I financed writing the book myself, and everything will go to charity. So what you're reading is on you. It's on you. It's all for you. And it's very helpful because I teach people here in the book. I'm going to show it on the camera. Keeping it real in commercial real estate.
Yeah.